So cleaning up your thoughts, cleaning up your house, your car, all of those things affect our entire being is how I look at it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. Today's episode is going to be absolutely amazing. I have Radesha, and this woman is incredible, and I can't wait for her to share everything she knows and what she does, because it's awesome. So, Radesha, it looks like I'm going to stutter on that every time. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am an author. I help women to know their worth and value so they don't settle. My movement is No More Broken Records. It's a movement to empower women not to settle. But don't worry, I am here for the men as well. God gave me kings don't settle for the men, but women tend to be more so what I'm geared towards, but the men get love too. I'm also a pageant girl. I'm a pageant girl, but naturally a poet, a writer. I think that's it. Sometimes I forget, I don't really get caught up in the semantics and the titles, I think at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and I don't really kind of get into that. So I'm just me. I'm here, excited to be with you, and I'm just, me.
Awesome. Well, you are amazing. So
Thank you.
it's just remarkable what you do. Can you tell the audience more about how you help people?
Yeah, so I also have my own podcast. The podcast is Queens Don't Settle. It's available on pretty much most platforms, but Spotify now used to be Anchor, but Spotify and Apple are kind of the main ones, but it's like
Yep.
Podbean and all the other ones. So I have that. I do have a blog. It's a little bit older, but the articles that I've written are very much still relevant. So a woman can go back to my website and read through those. I also have affirmations available on the website as well. And then, of course, I also have the books. In terms of, I guess, the creative stuff, I dance. I do dance. And then I also, like I said, pageant girl. And so I plan to, I'm not going to say which one, but I do plan to participate in a pageant in the fall. I'm normally just judge. I've been just judging, but I'm probably going to go back to the contestant side in the fall.
Well, that's amazing and exciting. So that's really awesome. So, what is your podcast about? I mean, the title really says a lot, but I would like to know what you like to talk about on there.
So the podcast is Queens Don't Settle. It's pretty much a very raw, unfiltered podcast about life and relationships. I believe the men can listen because when I looked at my statistics, of course it's a small number, but men have, listened. But of course, predominantly women. But pretty much it's just a very honest conversation. The majority of it, of course, has been me, but I have had some guests on there, and I'm back in a space where I'm going to be, having guests come on and things like that. I have a woman, Dr. Martine, this coming week. So really it's a very honest, raw conversation, about life and relationships. Yeah. I don't do the pretty, I say you play the orchestra and it sounds all nice and wonderful. I don't do that because I don't believe that's what incites change, right? When, stuff is pretty, sometimes you just need the raw truth. You just need a kick in the ASS sometimes, myself included, So yeah, when you listen to it, I think the women can kind of get a feel, especially those that have been following and listening from the beginning. They pretty much know how I am. And they vibe with me, and you're always right for the right people.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So that's awesome. I love that you do that, and I know it really helps a lot of people. So that's
Thank
incredible.
you.
And you said that you are a writer. Can you tell us more about
Yes,
that?
so let me show you. I have them available. So the first book
Awesome.
is No More Broken Records, 5 Tips to Change Your Tune and Transform Your Life. The second one is Queens Don't Settle. And then the third one is Kings Don't Settle. Kings. So both of the Queens and Kings, they're poetry empowerment books. They complement each other, but they
Mm,
are empowerment books. The poetry, of course, is geared towards empowerment. All of the poems.
yeah.
And in the beginning of the poem, I have sort of a queendom tip for the ladies. So there's a queendom tip, and then the poem, No More Broken Records, is, pretty much just a book about, cleaning your house. And I don't just mean your physical house, but sort of cleaning up your thoughts, cleaning up your space, your car.
Mhm,
Um, becoming self-aware and getting clarity, all of the things that I think, all of us sort of on this journey are going to come across and kind of need
mhm.
to sort of incorporate into our lives and implement.
Yep, I agree. And why do you think it's important to clean up your life and everything like that?
Woo. Well, I mean, I am very much for personal growth and personal development. Like, I feel like it's a lifestyle, right? Just like the gym
Is
buffs,
it?
that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole lifestyle, right? I think it's
Yep.
important to clean house because it affects everything, right? It affects everything. Your
Mm-hmm.
house, your spaces. I mean, when I a couple years ago, well, I guess it's a few years now, someone and I used to do a prayer call. And I remember one particular, you know, episode per se or call. And it came to me, the divinity within me, to talk about, making
Mm-hmm.
sure that people clean their car, right? That they wash their car. So that's a part of cleaning house. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember one of the ladies kind of reached out to me afterwards, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, why are you talking to me like that? I just feel so attacked." It was just so funny, but she's like, "This is,
Mm-hmm.
the message that I need." And so let me tell you, she sent me a picture of her at the car wash. I kid you not. It was, oh, I just loved it, right? But something small like that,
Yeah.
it makes a difference. And the fact that, at least I was able to, impact her so much so that she sent me a picture. I loved it. But it is important. So cleaning up your thoughts, cleaning up your house, your car, all of those things affect our entire being is how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
We're spiritual
Yep.
beings having a human experience. And so me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I can't live in clutter. I just can't. Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how some
Yep.
people do it. Yeah, I can't do it. If you can see in the background, I have my chakras on the wall and my lotus flower. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything has to be in its place. Okay, talk about OCD, honey. I
Yeah.
own all of it. But cleaning up your thoughts, that also includes what you listen to. The type of music that you
Mm-hmm.
listen to. People might be surprised, but
Mm-hmm.
I do not play a lot of music in my car because I'm like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be influenced like that. I'm very
Yeah.
particular about that. Usually I've
Mm-hmm.
had affirmations playing, or now I just quiet. It's just quiet. Like sometimes I might
Mm-hmm.
turn on the radio just to kind of hear, and then I swear usually I end up turning it right back off because someone I want to hear. But you have to be very
Yep.
mindful what you feed your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff you're
Mm-hmm.
taking in. And I never ever forgot hearing James Malinchak uh, say garbage in, garbage out, right? Garbage in,
Mm-hmm.
garbage out,
Yep.
and so I don't want any garbage in this beautiful temple of mine. If we're talking about our house, as I
You,
said, I think your house is kind of your sanctuary. I mean,
It is.
After a long day at work or whatever it is that you do, and you come home, I feel like when you come home, it should be right. It should be an exhale. This is my home. This is my beautiful space. I feel like you should feel at peace, or at least like you should like your space. And I just don't know that, at least for me, that that's possible if it was full of clutter and everything was everywhere. And then
Yep.
in terms of the car, I say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, honey. A nasty car. I mean, I don't know how you feel good driving around in a nasty car, you know.
I agree.
I mean, that again, just me, and we're not judging. I'm just talking about it, right? But I
Yeah.
can't do it. I can't do it. That would affect me mentally. I would just, in my entire insides would probably be crawling. Um, and then the last thing I would say about cleaning up, or cleaning house, if you will, is your phone. Surprisingly, and even when I mentioned this before on a Facebook Live a while back, every year at minimum I do a phone dump. Okay, so if we're saying everything has energy, okay, I do a phone dump. So some people have 200, I imagine more than that, but let's just say 200 contacts. Probably more than half of those they don't speak to on a regular basis. They're just people that have stayed in
Yeah.
their phones for years. They're not in contact with these people, so they're just kind of taking up space, but they're not taking up the right space, right? And so I believe in sort of
Yep.
doing at minimum a yearly phone dump to just kind of go through all of my contacts, who needs to stay, who doesn't need to stay. I actually now I had to get a new phone. Oh my God, what an annoying thing. But I had to get a new phone, and now I actually categorize. I have categories. So I put people in
There you go.
categories. So when someone texts or something, there's a certain hierarchy on how it shows up in the phone that I have now because it's an upgrade. That's the only good thing I can say. The
Yep.
phone is an upgrade, but still, what an annoying thing because I miss my old phone. It had like everything in there. But yes, cleaning your space, your house, your car. I just think it affects your entire emotional and mental well-being and really spiritually. I think it's imperative that people pay attention to that because it definitely affects you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It really does. Like my house, I love it clean, and like it was getting a little messy. So literally this morning, I spent 2 hours cleaning everything, making sure everything put away, wiping down everything, and now like I can look around, it's clean. I feel better. It's just amazing. So yeah, I agree 100%, and I also pay attention to what I listen to. It's not very often that I listen to music at all. It's usually an audiobook or a podcast. That's about it. That's what I listen to in the car, everywhere. So yeah, it's so important. And since I started doing that, I'm a way happier person than I was before. Because some of that music, like I like country music. It's depressing, okay? It just is. So like, if you listen to that less, you'll be a
Yeah.
lot happier. So yeah,
Oh,
I agree. That's
yeah. I
amazing.
mean, the car is, I think the car is something that people sometimes don't think about, but like, imagine you see somebody's car and it's like filthy, not just on the outside, but on the inside, and it's like food on the floor. It's just like, I don't know how do you drive around in that all the time? It's just,
It's disgusting.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. I've always I've always been a car guy. I have many different vehicles, and yeah, I like them clean. I don't like them dirty. I I see people with garbage all over the floor and food, and it's just like, this is nasty.
You're terrible.
I, I don't I don't want to ride
Right,
with you. I just don't.
right. I want to rock you. That's
So yeah,
funny. Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's funny.
But yeah,
Right.
no
No
judgment.
judgment.
No
No judgment. We're
judgment.
just talking
No
about things that
judgment.
we think
No.
would be
Yep.
helpful. Yeah.
Yep. This is my opinion. So yeah,
That's funny.
that's it.
And if I could just mention, I remember I have to give a shout out to COC, Circle of Champions. It's up in Maryland. Bob Gates is the founder. So so I remember a story that was told, and I'm not going to say who mentioned it because, of course, there's a lot of members. But what I will say is, in alignment with what we were just talking about, is a story was told about a mentor who pays someone, you know, multimillionaire, of course, nice house, and this particular mentor has a boat, and the boat he paid someone to make sure that no dead leaves ever went on the boat, right? And of course, the inside of this mentor's house is pristine, but he was talking about the story and how he pays someone to make sure that no dead leaves ever fall on his boat. And I thought that was really profound. And it was just kind of like, how the wealthy thinks differently, and how when you really, I guess, have a high sense of self, if you will, little things like that
Yep.
matter. So much so that, like,
Mm-hmm.
I better not catch any dead leaves on my boat or you're fired. You know what I mean? And I thought that was like,
Yep.
wow. But, it makes you think it's in alignment with your space and your mental and emotional well-being, and keeping everything kind of, in harmony and like that. And I just thought, yeah, oof, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of the story. So one of Grant Cardone's employees told us the story, how the first time that he ever seen Grant get mad was when he was at Grant's house and somebody left a dirty dish in the sink. And Grant is all about like completing the circle of every task. So everything that you start, you
Yeah.
finish it. So like if you eat something, you wash your dishes, put them away. And yeah, it's so important, when you're at that level, it's important to keep everything, the way you want, and Grant likes his surroundings clean, so then it's less distractions, less stress, and everything. So yeah, that leaf story reminded me of that. And I was like, I have dirty dishes in the sink all the time. I should stop
Oh
doing that.
wow, yeah, yeah. Seriously,
Yeah.
all those little
So,
things add up.
so yeah, it's just
Yeah.
yep, it does. It's about getting things done. Holding yourself accountable.
Oh, it makes a
So
difference.
yeah, really awesome. So my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Ooh, my abilities are infinite, limitless potential for the supreme being that I am. You know, my abilities are infinite. There's no limits. I can be fearless in this lifetime. I can really achieve anything that my mind can conceive. All of my heart's desires, goals, dreams, right? I agree with that. I mean, I do believe everyone's abilities are infinite. I don't think there are any limits. I think the limits are what we place upon ourselves. Um, I remember the movie The Secret, and I always remember the part where Mike Dooley, excuse me. I remember the part where Mike Dooley talked about, um, you know, it's no more different, it's no more difficult on a scientific level to attract something that we consider huge to something that we consider infinitesimally small. The universe just, the grass doesn't strain. It's just this, amazing design and all of that. And so it's kind of us. It's us, but it's us because we're I feel like we're programmed to be like that. Like our society is very
Mm-hmm.
fear-based. Everything is sort of to keep us confined and in a box and very small. And so I think we don't
Mm-hmm.
really have the wherewithal or the knowledge really, and therefore the competence or confidence to be, all that we really are destined to be, because our society
Yeah.
is just not set up that way. But do I believe in that? Absolutely. There are no limits for myself, for you, or for anyone.
Same. I love that. That was amazing. Thank you so
It's,
much.
yeah. Have you seen? Do you like The Secret? Did you see that?
Oh
Of
yeah,
course.
so good. So good.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um so how can people reach out to you? How can they find you online?
So my Instagram is at No More Broken Records. My Facebook is at No More Broken Records. I also have a women's group, which is No More Broken Records. You'll see the group, but it is just for women.
Awesome.
They can do it that way. You can go right to the website, queensdon'tsettle.com, and you'll see at the bottom, all of my links. And then they can also check out the
Mhm.
blogs, and the products on there as well.
Awesome. And I'll put all your links in the show notes so everybody can find
Yeah.
you. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.